I'm Glen Darcey, Vice President of Product Management for Arturia. Today I'm going to tell you about the newest firmware update, version 1.3 for the BeatStep Pro. As I said in the introduction, I'm going to tell you about the new features in version 1.3 of our BeatStep Pro firmware. What I'm using for sound here is I'm using Ableton Live running a Matrix 12V. I'm running Modular V for kind of a bass line, and I'm running Spark for the drums. First and foremost is one feature that a lot of people have been asking for. It's the ability to chain patterns. Now you can chain up to 16 patterns in each sequencer. So you've got the 3 sequencers, 16 patterns. To do this, you press the Shift, the sequence button that you want, and then the patterns in the order. So I'll show it on sequence 1. We press Shift, sequence 1, and I press pattern 1. And let's go to 3 and 2 twice. So now if I hold down the sequence 1 button, it's going to show you the pattern. So it shows 1, 3, 2 twice. So I'll go on and play this pattern. Pretty simple. The way to change it and clear a chain is just to change a pattern manually. So now you'll see that the pattern is just looping over and over again. And if I hold this down, you'll see that there's no chain indicator going on. This is allowing you to really kind of build complete patterns that you can ignore, just let them play out. The next function that we have added is one that people have been asking for, and that's the ability to wait and load patterns. What that means is when you used to change a pattern, it was instant. When you changed it, it would change it wherever you were in the current thing, it would jump into the next pattern. Now what it's going to do is it's going to wait till you get to the end of the pattern before it changes. This is enabled and disabled within the MIDI control center. You open your MIDI control center, and right here on the side is this option here to wait to load pattern. So I've got that enabled now. I'll go back into my software, and you'll see what it does. Now what happens is that you'll see the button, the light flash when it's waiting to change. And then it goes solid when it has actually changed the pattern. One other feature that was requested was the ability to change all of your velocity or gate or shift time functions with a single knob. So we've set up 2 knobs. One is a relative mode, meaning that it's going to keep all your velocities or your gates in their same but equal levels, and it will just kind of raise them all or lower them all. The other, in absolute mode, is going to set them all to an absolute value. A little demonstration of this. I will go on and mute my bass and drum part. And now we'll play with the velocity here. So to do this, knob 1 is your relative change, and knob 2 is an absolute change. So when I press and hold Shift, and I touch this, knob 1, you see I've got a value of 0, 0 in the display. And that's because this is a relative shift. So it's adding values right now, or it can subtract values. So you can hear I've got velocity going to the filter. So that's keeping all of the relative settings that we have right now for velocity. So you can see I've got 52, 100, 93, 75, 92, etc. Now if I want to set them all to a specific value, I can hold Shift and turn knob 2. So now you can hear they're all at the same level. And that's nice for setting up a quick thing where maybe I just want to accent one beat. Now you can do that on velocity and gate on both of the sequences, and you can do that on velocity, shift, and gate on the drums. So if you wanted to shift a snare forward or backwards, you can simply by holding down shift and changing that. One thing you might notice, since I've edited the velocities, there's a little dot that has shown up here in this display. And that little dot is representing the fact that this sequence has now been edited. That's another new feature that we've added. So when you edit a sequence, before you didn't know whether you edited it or not. So let's go to sequence 2. So what I'm going to do is, if I change one of these values in sequence 1, I'll change the velocity. The minute I change that, you see that there's that dot appears. Now when I go to save that, I'll save this pattern. You see it flashes to show that it's saving, and the dot disappears, so now you know that you've saved your new edit. One other thing that we've done with all this saving and displaying what's edited is that we now show you which patterns are used when you're saving. So I'm on pattern 1 and I want to save to a different pattern. I want to make a copy of that. When I press save, you can see 1 is lit in the color of the sequence, and then the rest are lit white, showing that I already have sequences in all these positions. The ones that are unlit are showing that there is no sequence in that position. So if I wanted to save that or copy it, I can copy it over to 7, and now I've got it in 7. One other thing that you can do now is you can save from one sequence to another. So if I wanted to save pattern 1 into sequence 2 here somewhere, I will be able to just choose save that sequence 2, and let's go to number 9. So now if I go to sequence 2 number 9 and play them, you hear they're the same thing. A little different sound, so it's maybe a little bit confusing, but they are the same pattern. So if I go between this and this, you'll see the only thing that's changing is the color of the LEDs. One other thing that we've added is the ability to restart patterns with the play button, have them all restart from the beginning in real time. So if we wanted to start that over and over again, we can simply press shift and play. So you can see how that works. Another thing that we've done is we've added the ability where it will save the last used project when you power it down. So if I was to change all these around, you'd see that it will power back up in the same state that it was in. Another thing that you can do is we can change your input MIDI channels can be set from the front panel, and you do that by holding shift the channel, and it shows the channels that you can change for the inputs. One thing that we fixed, it was an addition but also a fix, is that it will now stay in better sync when you change time resolutions or playback directions. So let's call up a different thing here. So we'll take that pattern and play with it. So all these new features bring a lot more functionality. They give you a little bit better feedback, and it's a free update. Just log into your Arturia.com account, download the free firmware update, and use your MIDI Control Center software to do the update. You just open up your MIDI Control Center, click on your firmware revision, and then follow the steps. One other thing that we've done is we've fixed a lot of bugs that were in the system. For a full list of all the new features and all the bug fixes, when you download the firmware, there's a document attached that will show you all the different things that have been fixed and changed. That's it, and enjoy the new BeatStep Pro version 1.3 firmware. Be sure to visit Arturia.com, go under the BeatStep Pro product, and check out the Resources tab. In the Resources tab, you're going to find more tutorials, tips, tricks, and other extra files that will help you in using your BeatStep Pro.